Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. It's episode 165. I am your host, Perry, and with me filling in for Swan as he is still on the last leg of his hiatus, it is one of my good buddies, Mr. Matt Porter from ADHD Whiskey. You also might know him as the world's top whiskey taster. Matt, welcome on, my friend. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Perry. You say I'm filling in, but I'm overfilling, overflowing for the Swan man himself.
I got to see Swan for the first time last night in like a month because he's coming home. He's working down in Knoxville, and he's coming home every weekend just because he sees his fiance and everything. And
that's nice.
And he texted me at like 10 o'clock last night. He was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm watching Ted Lasso and drinking bourbon." "What are you doing?" He was like, "I'm going to be at your house in 20 minutes. I was like, "Okay." And I kid you not, he walked in my front door and I gave him a hug and I started crying. Like, it's been a week or a month. And I just was like, I'm just so happy to see you, So
that's a good friend right there. When you start crying when you see a friend, that's a good friend. I need to meet this Swan character face to face.
You do need to meet Swan. The next time that you're in Lexington, what we'll do is we'll record an episode with all three of us, because that would be a rip-roaring good time.
Last time I was there, they decided not to show up, your co-host. They said no. We won't.
They did.
Not only that, but your wife left the county. She was gone. Everybody was like, "We don't trust this individual for 1 second. Perry, you're crazy." Little did they know, they were the crazy ones.
I can confirm that those were real events that happened, and I have the text messages of proof saying that I'm not coming in 100 yards of that man. But then you did meet my wife later on, so
lovely.
Hey, so we normally start out the show with Flying Blind, but because we are in different states, we don't actually have Flying Blind, but we do have a blind sample set from one Will Henderson, who is a friend of the show, listener of the show, patron of the show, good guy all around, and supports you as well, Matt, on your in your endeavors. So he's a good dude.
The best.
What was the extended pause there? You're just waiting for me to stop talking?
No, he's the MVP.
Oh, he is. He is the MVP.
For the Chicago Cubs. Well, does he sound like a baseball player? That sounds like a baseball.
Oh, he absolutely does. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you.
Harry Carey. Will Henderson going back to the wall and steals a home run.
Steals a home run. Huh? That's good.
That's the worst. Harry Carey, but I had to
No, I think it was really good. It's much better than mine.
Well, R.I.P. to the old Harry Carey. I love Harry Carey. Great guy.
He's a good dude. Good dude indeed. So what we're basically going to do is have an extended Flying Blind throughout the episode. And Will has also provided these samples with a little game as well. So he wrote the rules out for us. I don't know why I showed these to the screen. Like, nobody's going to see this. I mean, maybe they will. I haven't decided yet. So rules. 1, match the clue to the sample. 1 point. 2, guess the proof, and that is also a point. So there's 5 clues, and it's in no particular order. 1, the head distiller used to be a head brewer. 2, old building, new whiskey. 3, devil went down to Georgia. 4, you down with MGP? Yeah, you know me. And 5, this brand sued Ezra Brooks in 1960 for trademark infringement.
I know that one.
I don't think I do.
Yes, you do. Once you put your thinking cap on, you'll get it. You'll figure it. You know this.
I'm sure I do.
You're already playing the game where you're like, I don't know this one. Jeez.
I'll figure it out. I'll be good. I'm going to get there. I got to ask you though, Matt. What have you been drinking recently?
Everything. I have been enjoying so much. A lot of the things I've been enjoying have come from maybe one of the best distilleries on planet Earth. You might have heard of them. It's called Bardstown Bourbon Company, and they make just delicious bourbons.
Shill. You're a corporate shill. You've been bought, and now you're just. I can't trust you anymore. No, I'm just kidding. They're great. They do really good things.
They paid me a handsome fee for my efforts in becoming what some people, and by some people I mean the planet that we live on, they refer to me as the best on the planet, world's top whiskey taster. That's what they call me. I never called myself that, but it's out there, and I've heard rumors that that's the thing. Well, but I've also been drinking light whiskey. Light whiskey is really good.
Ooh, who are you drinking it from?
The bottle I have is from Cat's Eye Distillery. It's called Obtainium, and it's
okay, yeah.
14-year MGP, 147 proof. It's like rock candy. So delicious. And then
that'll kill the COVID.
Then some Old Carter American whiskeys too, which are light whiskeys that I just love so much.
Have you had Mark and Sherry on yet?
I haven't had them on my channel, but I did a private tasting with them when I was in Florida a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
They are the best. I love them so much.
They are wonderful, wonderful people. I had them on the show. I guess it was back in 2019, maybe. I can't remember. I've done so many of these daggum things. And
165.
165 indeed. Yeah. There's even been some that I lost, like that haven't actually made it onto the show. So
I bet you they were good ones too.
No. No, not at all. There were a couple that were just real stinkers. So
that's so funny.
Yeah, you should definitely get them on though.
I will. Cool. Sherry said that she likes to. I guess Mark watches YouTube videos at night, and she said that he used to watch the Bourbon Junkies at night. And she likes them, but when she said that she was in the bath, and she heard my video, and she's like, "Who's that guy?" And he's like, "His name is ADHD Whiskey." She's like, "I like that guy." I've got more of a bathtub voice, which I think is wonderful.
That is a really funny statement, and I love it. I absolutely love that. So what have I been drinking? We just got this new. It's kind of like it's not quite a mall, I guess, but it's got different little shops and stalls, kind of like they've got there. It's called Gray Line Station. If you've ever been to Franklin, Tennessee, there's the factory there too. It's where they do Southern Whiskey Society. And it's basically the same thing like that. So we stopped in at the wine bar there. It's called The Breeze. And my dad gave me a New Riff pick, excuse me, for them for Christmas. And I didn't even realize that that's where we were until we sat down and ordered a drink. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I got talking to Leo, who's the bartender. He's one of the founders of the shop as well. And he was like, if you try nothing else, try this Wilderness Trail pick. Mm-hmm. It was the rye bourbon recipe. It was 5.5 years old and 117 proof. And it was one of the best single barrels I've ever had. Just
wow.
Hands down, or hand to God. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. But it was incredible, and I was like, I'm not leaving without buying a bottle of this. And sure enough, I came home with it. So it's really good. It's really, really good. I'm going to have Leo on the show at some point soon, too.
Leo.
So, it's a great name.
Like Dr. Evil. Leo.
Leo.
I just realized something. I was talking about light whiskey, so I poured some. And then I just honestly realized that I'm taking sips of 147 proof light whiskey before we do a blind flight. Like, how about don't do that?
All right, 1 point for Perry.
Oh, God, that's so silly.
Oh, you're just silly. You're just silly, Matt.
I'm out of my practice. I practiced so hard for the competition,
Yeah.
but I haven't like really analyzed stuff since then. Tried to like figure things out. Just taking a break. So this is the first time I'm actually gonna try to figure out proofs and stuff on whiskeys. But I tell you, one way not to do it is drink hazmat stuff right beforehand. Probably not.
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes your brain no work. No brain work? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, I think I just experienced it there, live. So I do want to talk with you a little bit about the World's Top Whiskey Taster experience. Yeah. And first of all, I've not gotten to do this on the show. Congratulations, man. I've done it privately, and I'll tell a funny story too, because you were at Bardstown, and this was the final day, and in our group chat, somebody asked, does anybody know how Matt's doing at the competition? I was like, I have no idea, but I'll send him a text. And I texted you not knowing that you had just been named the winner of the competition. And I couldn't tell. You were being really vague with your text messages, which good for you. I wanted to be as surprised as everybody else would be when it was announced. But you thought, you revealed this to me later, that I knew you had won.
Yeah. Because your question was, how often are you going to be coming back here?
That's right. That is what I said.
So, of course, I thought that otherwise, why would you ask me that? But yeah, you asked me how often I'd be coming back. And I think my answer was hopefully a lot, hopefully lots. I don't know. But, I couldn't say anything. It was, I had promised that, I wouldn't reveal that to anybody, to the public. But I figured that somehow you had already known. Guess what?
I had no clue. And it was the perfect, our exchange. We always have really funny text exchanges for some reason. Like that, the first time that I texted you pretending to be somebody from the TTB, and then you reverse searched my phone number, and I was the one that came up apparently.
And then you didn't even know that that you were reverse searchable until I told you on the first podcast I was on, and you were like, "Are you serious? You need to look into this."
I had a mini meltdown, but anyway, yeah, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of talk about your experience and how all that went for you.
It went well. I mean,
well, yeah, that was a dumb question for me to ask. Of course, it went well. You won.
Mm-hmm. Turns out, nailed it. Nailed it.
I'm killing it with the interview this time.
No, it's okay. I could go. If you're more specific with questions, it's way better. Otherwise, I'll have you here till 3 a.m. with the same thing. I can go forever.
Sure, I'll be specific. How surprised were you when you got announced?
I'm still surprised. I'm still shocked. I didn't think that it was a possibility from the get-go, from the beginning.
Yeah.
I uploaded a silly video entering the contest. Then I won a regional competition. Perfect score, no big deal. And then went to the finals, and of course I wanted to win, but I never in a million years thought that it would happen. It's like, I don't win stuff ever. So didn't think I'd win. But turns out, happy accident, I was wrong, and I actually won. So yeah, it was lots of crying. You're super familiar with me crying.
I am.
Lots of tears.
Yeah.
And still in shock. I didn't think that it was a possibility for me to pull it off, but I don't know. I put in a lot of hard work, a lot of research, I know it sounds weird to say studying to be the world's top whiskey taster, but I put in hours and hours and hours and hours of reading and listening to, various podcasts, yours being one of them, just studying and learning as much as I possibly could leading up to the event. And it was enough to bring home a big ass check.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is there kitty litter in there?
I don't think so. No, I had some other particles floating around from having previously had something to drink out of this.
What's in your glass? Is that, are you starting to pour stuff already?
Yeah, I've got all 5 poured up.
Son of a bee, Perry. Why didn't you tell me we were doing that?
I'm sorry. I figured I'd go ahead and get it ready, and then we'd get to it when we got to it.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry.
No, I should have been doing this the entire time as well. I have none of them poured. Oh, I'm still a silly goose.
It's okay. But, like, you have also... You're coming off of what you described as a wonderful experience interviewing Sam Montgomery from Bardstown Bourbon Company last night on your live stream. And it seems like you are now becoming more directly involved with the company, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. I interrupted you like a jerk.
No. Are you going to be at more events? I mean, are you kind of a brand ambassador for them now as well, or?
So that was part of the deal, was the winner would become a brand ambassador for the company. I haven't done any work in that regard yet. But I've been doing some pretty cool things. The Discovery series for Bardstown Bourbon Company, where they source whiskeys from various distilleries, and then as a team, they blend them. Well, not really as a team, but their entire distillery is a team, a blending team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So their culinary team, their bar staff, their distillery team, everybody gets a chance at blending the next Discovery series or the next Fusion series, whichever one they're working on at the time. And they allowed me to be part of it this year. So this past week, I've been tinkering with all the ingredients for what could possibly be Discovery 5. So wow. I got to submit my own blend for Discovery 5, and it could possibly be the one that gets, blended and bottled for that release.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's right? Just bonkers, dude.
Insane. I know. I can't even. You're already smelling them, son of a bee.
I'm sorry. I am getting a head start. I apologize, but I'm also going to go ahead and finish what I started.
You deserve it. I mean, nobody has ever gave you a $20,000. You deserve a head start. I'll plug my nose for this. That's a joke.
Yeah, there we go. So you can't taste really anything. That's good.
I'm really bad at being overconfident and a jerk. I'm like, I'll plug my nose for this, Perry. I am so
bad at trash talk. I am the worst. And that was proven. Golly, how did I block this out of my memory? But the cheeseburger challenge.
Oh, yeah.
That just totally... I have not thought about that in literal months. And it was the most... I just was not prepared for that at all.
No, me either. I ate like a regular person that day.
I think I did too.
That was overconfidence. Thinking I could eat like a normal person and then win a hamburger eating contest. Stupid me.
I think I can't remember if I went to go pick them up or if I DoorDashed 20 cheeseburgers. Which must have the person who I can't remember what I did. It doesn't really matter. But I think I stated before that I was terrible at trash talk, and I don't have the courage, not courage, that's not the right word. I don't have the right demeanor for it. The people with the best demeanor for trash talk wind up working in the WWE.
Right. And guess what? I defeated one of them too.
Oh!
Boom.
I didn't realize he was part of that.
He used to wrestle for the WWE.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? He's a great guy. Super nice guy.
I sent him a message a few weeks back and was like, "Hey, I really want to get you on the show," and he goes, I'm a big fan. I'd love to be on." I was like, "What do you do? Like, how was I supposed to know that Aiden English is a big fan of my podcast?" I was like, "That's insane." So I'm looking forward to having him on.
Your show reaches a long ways. I've heard a lot of people talk about how they love This Is My Bourbon podcast, and I'm like, obviously, because it's the best.
That's so strange to me. It's so strange to me. Like, if you, I don't think I've ever said this. If you see me, like, if you listen to the show and you see me out in public, come say hi, please. Like, I'm not gonna deny you the like. I love meeting people, and like, if you've listened once, and like, come say hello. I'm a friendly guy. I'm not out in public all the time, but
whatever. You're so snobby. People approach you and you're like, "Excuse me, how many masks are you wearing?" I will settle for no less than 4. Do not approach me. Stop where you're at.
No, please come say hi. But yeah, also, wear a mask.
Just joking with you, but no. When I first met you, I was like, "Oh, he's a real person."
That's the weirdest thing for me is like, and I go through this all the time, especially with like bands, going to see them live and realizing that's a real guy. Like Gary Clark Jr. actually exists out in the world, and he's spending this time on the stage, and I'm watching this happen. But anyway.
Gary Clark Jr. sounds like a guy from Christmas Vacation, though. Of course he exists. Like,
he's a great guitar player and a fantastic blues musician. I don't know if you've ever heard him before.
I haven't, but I need to now.
You really should. You really should. I got to meet him once, too, after one of his shows, which was awesome.
I once met a kid. I worked at a gym a long time ago when I was in shape, and I met a kid who came in. He wasn't in very good shape, which is sad, because his name was Jackson Musselman. And I was like, you, my friend, have a superhero. Like, that's a name that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Gary Clark Jr. is my neighbor. Jackson Musselman bench presses Lamborghinis.
Absolutely.
With one hand.
Absolutely. So
hopefully he got in better shape.
I want to ask you one more question. And then we got a little bit of news that we want to talk about as my voice cracks. And then I really want to get into this blind flight.
Let's do it.
I've asked this question because I'm curious solely how things have been perceived since it all happened. Have you felt any like negative response to the fact that there's even a thing called the world's top whiskey taster? Like,
I ignore it.
Good for you. Good for you.
There's always going to be people out there who say what they want, because I mean, am I the world's top whiskey taster? Yeah, obviously. They gave me an island and a castle and a dragon and a moat.
Can't believe I haven't been invited yet. Oh, there's COVID. I totally forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, I'm that. But in reality, of course, I'm not the world's top whiskey taster. Like, that's, of course, I'm like, I told you before, about the palate. I mean, I have an average palate at best. I studied, I learned, I love bourbon, I love whiskey, I love the industry. It's exciting to me. So there's more to it than just having a great palate, which mine is average. But people, like, I've seen people comment and say things that I just kind of laugh about. Quick story. There was, during my Advent videos this year on my YouTube channel, ADHD Whiskey, you should go follow it, subscribe, no big deal. But anyway, there's this guy who kept like commenting after each video about, he's like, if you think that you've got like, oh, you think you're the best and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you've never watched any of my videos, because obviously I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I get lucky once in a while and I'll guess a bottle, then I'll get really excited about it and talk about I'm the Michael Jordan of whiskey tasting, dunking from the free throw line with my tongue out, drunk, no big deal. Yeah.
It's just the cherry on top. That's just
Right.
yeah. I did all those things, but also I was so high. You just don't even know.
No, but in reality, Perry, there's so much negativity out in the world
Yeah.
right now that when something positive happens and something really cool is happening, like just ignore all the negative
Oh
stuff.
yeah, of course.
Because life's too short to be listening to that crap.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm proud of you. And not just for that, but the fact that you worked so hard and clearly it paid off. So, good job, man. I'm very genuinely happy for you and proud of you. And it just like I was watching the video of you getting announced that you were the winner, and I knew that you were gonna cry, and I knew how much it meant to you, and that made me cry. Like
Right.
I was on my lunch break, standing in my kitchen, hunched over the kitchen counter watching this video. I've just got like tears streaming down my face. So I'm like, this is the best thing, man. This is so cool. And I like I said, just so happy for you.
It's weird because last Thanksgiving, like November 2019, that was the first time I was on your podcast.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like basically, what I wanted to do. And I was just like, I want to do something in this industry. And like, that's a dream of mine to do something. A year later, like, it's like I blinked my eyes and all of a sudden, like, cool things are happening, really cool things. And it's really exciting. And yeah, it's just, seems too good to be true sometimes that, I have these opportunities and I'm going to make the most out of them for sure.
Yeah. So cool, dude. So cool. All right. I think what we should do is we should at least try one of these before we talk about little bits of news.
Okay,
Cool.
for sure.
So let's go ahead and just taste, smell, experience sample A.
Sample A is a whiskey. You can tell because it starts with the letter A.
Is this a Four Roses recipe thing that you're doing?
No, definitely not. But I could. You're that confident? You don't even swirl it for half a minute first?
Oh, I was swirling it. It just was off. It was off camera.
Oh, that's a weak swirl. The swirl gets the girl, Perry, every single time.
Is the girl my wife? Because stay away.
Stay
away if it is.
Right. I enjoy the nose of A.
I like the nose a lot.
Wait a minute.
The other thing too is like, how much do we want to like talk through this? Because
as much as you want.
Okay. Because like
you can tell me truths or fibs. That's the best part.
I figured out where the glare's coming from. It's from my
Your glasses.
It's from my headphones.
Oh,
That's weird. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm picking up on something interesting in A. Once I dig deep.
I am too, and like the more that I've gone back for it, it's kind of a, it's a really off-putting smell, honestly.
Yes, and
Kind of astringent.
Can you place it? Can you place that note in your head? You don't have to say it out loud, but can you place it as to what you're working?
Yeah, I can kind of approximate it, but I don't know if it's exactly like it's. I think I'm going a little too general with it in my brain.
So I'm going to make a note in my book, my Bardstown Bourbon Company book that they supplied me. So there's so many pages in it.
Where's my?
Just pages for days. So not only do we have to guess a proof on these, but we have to guess which clue out of 5 clues is the match for each glass. Is that glare really bothering you?
No. I couldn't find my notebook.
Oh,
I'm just gonna write it on the thing. I haven't even tasted A yet. Have you?
no, I don't want to. Oh gosh, now I do. because I just smelled B. I definitely just want to taste A. Okay, now I don't even want to taste A. Now A smells.
What is happening here?
Smell B, now go back to A.
Well, B is weird.
But then when you smell B, then you smell A again, that note in A jumps out of the glass. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The heck is this?
I don't know.
Will Henderson is a tricky bugger. He's a trickster. I just took a drink of A.
I did too.
It is not a favorite of mine, I would say. Immediately. Not thrilled with it. Why do they do that?
That is so astringent.
It's funky.
Uh-huh.
It is malty. I'm going to go ahead and say the word malty because it is. And that's what I wrote in my notebook.
It's
obvious.
It's not. It's strange because it doesn't really read too much like a bourbon.
I don't think it is.
I'm not sure it is either. That is really, really strange.
It is something that, okay, I can see how people could dig that. You know what, though? That's what's weird.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I can see how people would like that. I was thinking one thing, and then all of a sudden Texas whiskey popped into my head, and that sort of almost has that small barrel or like I was thinking something different at first, but then once I tasted it, the aftertaste reminded me of, it's like a kick right in the mouth of just.
I could see that. I don't know. I think it's honestly kind of reading more like a single malt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very malty, for sure.
And like the proof is really throwing me off too, because I feel like it drinks like it might be higher proof.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think that something's throwing me off. Something's messing with me. I don't know.
That glass is something that I'm glad exists. I'm glad that somebody's enjoying that out there. That's not something I'd pour for myself every day.
No, me neither.
And glass B, after smelling it one time, I think is right there along with it. What the heck is that?
That is a terrible note on B. It's almost like spoiled.
Like rotten fruit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Have you ever picked apples before in an apple orchard?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what it is. It smells like turned apple juice.
Like the apples that fell off the trees and it rained and there's leaves on it and you step on it. And then you find one of those in your bucket and you're like, the hell, that's a rotten.
What did I do with this?
Yeah. Why did I?
It's a Larry David. It's like, where'd this come from? I'm not going to eat a rotten apple. Then he goes and asks for a refund.
Oh my goodness, it's a potent sour bugger. Okay. No, what the hell? Will Henderson.
Oh, that is bad. Oh.
I haven't ever. Why would they? It's getting worse as it.
Oh, it is though. That is so bad. That is disgusting. Oh.
Okay, Perry, this is the worst part about a blind flight, especially on your podcast. This is what sucks. This is what sucks. Is because somebody out there made these and they might be friends or friendly or like you never know what you're drinking. But with that being said, not ever will I.
I don't want to. Can you imagine? I don't want to drink it again. Like I know I'm gonna have to at some point, so I can kind of narrow down what these things are. But that it almost tastes like bad moonshine.
Mm.
You know, like a bad apple pie moonshine that you got in Gatlinburg.
You know what? I'm gonna take one for the team and taste it again, just so that I can give a note, because all I thought was how unenjoyable it was. I didn't really think about what it tasted like.
I'll do the same.
Ipecac. I think that's what Ipecac is. Oh, wow.
Jeez Louise.
Oh, Perry, have you ever eaten a flower? Like,
like a
remember in Harry and the Hendersons when she's like, "You ate my whole corsage." Yeah. That is, it tastes. It has a bitterness that, like, if you ate a flower, like an entire flower bush, it's got a really bitter.
It's so perfumey. Yeah. Oh, that is so bad.
Why would? Okay, I'm hoping that these at least get slightly better.
You know what? Screw the news. Let's just do this. If we feel squirrely, we can talk about the news in a little bit. But I am so locked into this now. Like, also, my notes for B, all it says is sucks. It just sucks. Like,
oh, I went a little bit further. Mine says, no.
All right, C. Dang it, man. That is rough.
I gotta look at. You know what? We'll go through these. Then I need to look at the clues again because I'm trying to. I'm not gonna get that taste out of my mouth.
I'm trying to.
No way.
I need like a control whiskey or something.
I need like a brand new face.
I need to not feel bad about myself anymore.
And so Will is gonna listen to this and just laugh. And
I fully believe that.
I can't wait till they get to B. Oh, they're on B. As he's drinking like whatever Will Henderson drinks while he's listening to us drink.
He's drinking his George T. Stagg from his ivory tower.
This tastes like Will wanted to get rid of some stuff. And he doesn't believe in pouring stuff on the drink.
It's old bottles that only have like a couple ounces left. And it's also turned. So
Hey, spoiler alert, these are all Bardstown Bourbon Company products, and I'm going to have to not ever release this.
Yeah, we're not going to have an episode this week.
Due to a threat to my life, I cannot publish the podcast this week. Ugh. Okay, C is toned down a lot.
I had to take a sip of something so I could get the just left field flavors from B out of my mouth.
C is what I would consider to be delightful after B.
I think anything's going to be delightful.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
I can't tell if it's good.
C smells great. C's got like Christmas baking spices, and it smells like. There's like a very predominant butterscotch note on the nose as well. I like the nose a lot. Also, I can't even ascertain what the proof was on B. Like,
oh gosh. Yeah, there is a percentage of that that's alcohol. Right?
It just has gotten lost.
Yeah, the fact that now we're on this one is I've lost my rangefinder. You know, like where do we even begin?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Finish is a little stale, but it's good though.
Do you ever close your eyes when you sip it to just get rid of that other sense? I do that a lot. Close my eyes.
I do that right now.
I was like, just to focus on it a little bit more. Close my eyes, really think about it. The finish on that's pretty long. I enjoy that. That's like a golden crisp cereal with a little bear on the front of it, and I can't tell the proof. My meter's all goofed up.
Oh my! Ooh.
There's something on there that's familiar. That, like distillery wise, that I am slightly leaning towards distillery wise, but I need to look over at the. It's funny because if I can't remember all the hints, but if one of the hints kind of leads that way, but I don't know. Actually, I didn't even know what the hell the hint could be. I don't know. Weird. It reminds me of something that may. Kind of reminds me of an Old Forester 1910.
Oh, yeah. I don't. I think it drinks higher proof than that. I also
Okay.
don't. It doesn't have that finish quality the 1910 has. Like
Right.
I'm
But it,
I'm strictly picking up like barrel notes instead of like a finishing note that
right.
might be in there.
Yeah. Got you. I think there's so much barrel. There's a lot of barrel influence
Oh,
on it,
for sure.
where it's like it doesn't, but it doesn't taste. There's a lot of barrel influence without it tasting extra aged. It doesn't have like a predominant note,
Yep.
oak note, but it has more of like a double barreled or like some sort of weird, I don't know,
Yep.
strange. Now D is the color of brake fluid. And it smells
This
really
might be
good.
the Devil Went Down to Georgia one, based on the color at the very least. Man, that does smell good.
When you say the devil went down to Georgia one, do you have something in mind for what that means?
Oh, I thought maybe it meant that it was like a southern, further south whiskey. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Closer to the equator.
Well, D is obviously you get. Wow. Okay, what the heck? What is D? You know what D is. D is one of two things. It's either finished in a red wine cask or it's a Jack Daniel's product. Because I get the same finish on both things. But I can't gauge a proof on it yet. It's pretty hot.
It is hot. I don't think that it's. I think it's lower proof than C is, though. Yeah.
Really?
Oddly enough. I was getting a lot more
Weird.
alcohol burn and a lot more heat off of C.
Huh. Yeah, wow. But here's the thing too, is this is a game, so I don't know if Perry's messing with me or
No,
if he's
no,
not.
I am honest to a fault. That's my that's the problem with me.
Huh.
I don't know how to play mind games. Matt Porter.
That's exactly what a mind
I
game
don't know how to
player
play
would
mind
say.
games. I don't know what you want from me.
still-
I'm no good at
You're
it.
still doing it. Where were you on the night?
I was with this guy Matt Porter who was really shady, and you should probably ask him that question.
Oh man. So D is okay. I think D is a proofy proofy bugger.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that I gave it a chew, gave me a little cough there too.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna squeak in my chair
That's
for a
okay. I
second.
thought maybe you had a dog.
No, it's just I'm huge and this chair's squeaky. I definitely need a drink of water
do
after
too.
that one too. That
Wowie wow.
so we're on the upward trend here. C and D were both good. I like C and D both. Which one do you prefer, C or D?
I think I prefer C ever so slightly. I think that D is easily accessible, and I think that it has it's got a nice depth and complexity to it that I do find inviting, but there is something kind of underlying that I'm not vibing with so much.
I know exactly what that is. You are a Kentucky boy, and that is Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
But I love Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
I know, but blind, that it's there. Okay. I've said this a million times and people argue with me because the finish to me is I consider it like a red wine finish, but other people don't get that. But there's something that has to do with the barrel tannins, the tannins from that oak on the back end of Jack Daniel's products that I pick up on. And this one is very strong.
I totally agree. And the more time that I've kind of had to let it sit on my palate and then just kind of, work its way through, the more it is reading like a Jack Daniel's product. I'm right there on board with you. I need to really like cleanse my palate though.
Yeah, that was a strong one. And I know that we're up against each other, but at the same time, I can't just not say it. I feel that way, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I think that's what that is.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, this is. I better keep most of it to myself.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think that it's probably over 125 proof.
Yeah.
Like just straight out of the gate.
I wrote down my proof already, and we're in the same realm. But you said that you thought C was higher proof than D. So do you think C is above that?
No, I'm going to backtrack on that.
Okay.
Like now that I've gone back to it and actually, because I didn't do the chew the first time, and I normally don't when I'm tasting, but once I actually went back and did a chew on D, it brought out all of the alcohol burn.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, really just showed up and showed out.
Are you over to E yet?
I am about to be.
E is raisins and prunes and like dates. Like
some rye bread in there too.
Yeah, I can see that. But it's this nose reminds me of almost like a midwinter night dram, like a
absolutely. This smells more finished to me than either of the previous two.
Yeah.
Do.
This is like a port finished something.
Mm-hmm. It actually kind of reminds me. So this is a High West American Prairie pick.
Ooh, yeah.
It's finished in the same barrels that they finish midwinters in.
Oh, nice. So that's an American Prairie finished in a midwinter night dram cask?
Basically, yeah.
That's so cool.
The Banyuls red wine that they finish it in. Am I allowed to do this? I don't know if I am.
Yeah, you can, but you have to say America when you pull the cork out of that.
Oh,
so,
America.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm out of practice. Yeah, those are very similar noses. Thanks for bringing that one up, buddy.
Yeah, this is pruny, datey, delicious, dark fruits.
I will say I'm not a huge fan of the nose. This isn't even actually what we're supposed to be doing with this, but I'm not a big fan of the nose. I think that it's I don't love dried fruit either. I find it hard to eat.
Right.
So maybe I'm kind of having a more visceral reaction to it. I'm not entirely sure. But I think the nose is decent. I don't think it's out of this world or anything.
I enjoy it. It's I enjoy dark fruits on a lot of my bourbon, and especially if I can get those type of notes on an Elijah Craig barrel proof, it's definitely not finished, then I really enjoy that. Finished whiskeys are a different animal for sure, and that's what this is, 100%. Perry's thinking.
I don't know if I'm allowed to disagree with the world's top whiskey taster, but
You can.
Okay, cool. So I think this reads like a younger product.
Okay.
I think it reads like it's more underdeveloped. I don't know. It's a stark contrast from D. I mean, it definitely reads lower proof for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. I just think that it's kind of it's different from everything else we've had tonight.
Oh, by far. So this isn't something that you agree with. Like you said, that it's kind of a negative reaction you have to this one.
Yeah. What was the point there?
I'm sorry. I was just asking if.
Oh, okay. I must have misheard what you were.
No,
how you were phrasing that.
No, I was asking you. This is something that you typically don't like. Like this isn't up your alley to say?
I don't mind dark fruit, but I think that it's, in this case, a little too overpronounced.
Sure. Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like it just is too, it's too much of that. And it's too much of that dried fruit as well. And I'm really missing the depth and complexity that comes from, and I honestly feel like this is not a Kentucky product. Mm-hmm. And I mean, part of it is the Kentucky pride or Kentucky boy in me, whatever. Yeah. But I do love the complexity that comes with a Kentucky whiskey because, I mean, it does get, it's the same thing that we always say. It actually gets the 4 distinct seasons and it goes through the cycling process and whatever. Yeah. But this just seems, it just seems a little underdeveloped. And I'll go back to saying that I think that it might be a younger product. And part of that could just be that it doesn't read like it's been in the barrel for very long. But it could just also be that the barrel's not had the same influence that it might if it actually were in a higher temperature climate. So that's just kind of where I am with it. And again, it's not that I dislike it. It's just reading very one note for me.
So I do get a young note from it as well. I think that it's kind of young, but I do enjoy it. It feels like it's a younger bourbon that was finished. That like to try to cover up a young product with secondary finishing is what I'm thinking. I could be totally wrong.
No, yeah. See, that finish is really what indicates that it is probably a finished product. Mm. Is somebody dying in your house?
No, hopefully not. It's just
that sounded like the COVID cough, man.
No, it's just. But I'm in a house with my in-laws' house right now, so it's my whole family staying here. Yeah, until we get our next nursing assignment, which we're working on. But yeah, our mother-in-law and father-in-law are nice enough to let us stay here while we figure out what's next.
Oh, so that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So I'm in their spare room right now. They kind of granted me access to their spare room to do this kind of thing.
So are you lugging all of that around with you everywhere you go?
Every little bit of it.
That is wild, man.
Good
for you, dude. Jeez Louise.
Last count was a little over 100 bottles.
Holy moly!
That I put in totes. 2 of them have like wheels, and then other ones are just like bigger, like plastic totes.
Yeah.
And like my more prized bottles, I'll wrap in bubble wrap or like have like the wine carriers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I throw as much as I can carry in a tote, and I dump a bunch of peanuts in there and cross my fingers as we drive across the country.
Have you lost any soldiers? Or
nope, 0.
Good. Well,
yeah, so,
keep doing what you're doing.
Now that we've talked about it, for sure it's going to happen now.
Knock on the bar.
Right. As long as it's nothing. I mean, it's just whiskey,
I mean, sure, but
at the same time, don't mess with my whiskey. You know what I mean?
So I'm going back through.
Okay.
Now.
So are you going backwards the opposite way?
No, I actually went back to A.
Okay.
Since I hadn't had it in 30 minutes or however the heck long it's been. Do you ever feel that I've never talked about this before, but do you ever feel like time just stops existing whenever you're doing stuff for your channel or for your brand? Like, cause for me, I can look at the clock and I sat down on my computer at 8:00 and it's now 9:40 and I'm like, I recognize that an hour and 40 minutes has passed, but I don't actually feel that way. Like I just kind of feel like
we just started.
And it just kind of feels like time just stands still almost. Yeah. Like I'm here having a good time with my boy. Like what I mean? Like there's nothing going on outside of this almost. And like clearly there is. I mean, there's
You've got a crying baby somewhere, and like I've got 2 kids who won't sleep downstairs.
She's not crying right now, so haha, joke's on you. But
so for us, it feels like no time has passed. But for
everybody
others,
else, yeah.
They're like, what are you still doing in there?
Exactly. But like even with editing, it's like I don't feel like it takes me, on average it takes me probably 3 to 5 hours of editing.
Wow, that's incredible.
Podcast. But I don't really feel like it takes me that long, But anyway, I'm glad to know that I'm not alone in that, because I really I just get in my zone and I'm just like, all right, barreling forward, dude. Just get this over with. I don't mean it that way, but.
So I went backwards from E to D to C. I went the opposite route you did. Because I'm really trying to avoid A and B right now.
See, I want to get A and B out of the way because they are so horrible.
I got back to C, and I think C is glorious. I like C a lot.
A has opened up.
Oh, really?
Truthfully, A has opened up. It still has that underlying astringent note to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's much more palatable. And honestly, now it's starting to read like it might be a bourbon or a rye. Maybe even a whiskey.
Listen, I never said it wasn't a rye. I said it wasn't bourbon.
Oh, all right. I see how this game's played. Actually, I don't. There's no rules or anything. We're just kind of playing by gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. Now I go back to it, I'm getting more of like a maple on A, like a maple.
Oh, for sure. Especially on the palate. Wait until you taste it. As you're doing right now.
I'm doing it right now. And oh yeah, wow. Okay. First of all, I think I know exactly what that is. And the only reason I think I know exactly what it is because I did an entire flight of these before.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And somebody sent me an entire flight of this particular thing. And I remember wanting to like them more than I did. But I feel like I might be in the minority when I say that it's not my favorite. I think some people do enjoy those more. And I could be completely wrong. And when I'm wrong, you're going to laugh at me.
You saying that kind of gave me an indication of what that might actually be. But.
Oh man, it's not my favorite at all. It's not. But I don't know. No, it's not my jam. It's not my jam, man. And I don't even know if it's a rye anymore. It just is not. It's funky. It's funky.
I'm locking in some answers already.
For the proofs or for the hints?
Both.
Oh, I got to go to the hints to see what the hints are again. Nope, that was my chair.
I don't believe you. B just sucks. B is so difficult to get through.
Why would they do that? Oh my. Perry, B.
B is one of the worst things I have ever had.
Why on earth is...
It's being masked by something. I think it's being masked by a finish. Like a finishing process.
No, I think it's just bad. I think, okay, listen, Perry, what did that taste like? Let's say that they decided to finish this, and that was the end result. What on earth did that taste like before they made it better?
Just fish. Just like rotten fish that you find on the beach that are, mostly dead.
Oh, boy.
No, it's not that bad. It just is. It is really hard to drink, though. It is really difficult to get through. I feel like I'm being punished by drinking it.
Which is so mean to say, right?
I know, and I don't like. I hate saying that, and I'm trying to remain as positive about it as I can, which I guess is just me being honest and being like, yeah, this is not good. But it is rough, dude. It is really, really rough.
Huh. I've never had anything like that.
I'm gonna have to drink some of this horsey sauce to cleanse my palate.
You should probably do that.
Oh, I got ketchup out here too. I'm not kidding. Look, I got a ketchup bacon.
That's funny.
We have fun here on the Bourbon podcast. The proof is really hard to nail down for me on this one.
You know what's funny? I didn't think I'd get to this situation, but I have a dilemma because I think that B could be two different things and it could fit two different clues. I will make a decision based on a guess.
Blindly throwing a dart.
But based off of what I think another one is, but I might have confused. Okay. B is just Y.
Oh, that is so terrible.
I think I have a guess to what B is, but I have it could be two different things, which could be two different clues. And I'll tell you later what I mean by that. And I'll write them both down in ink so that it's like these were my thoughts.
I've used my pen as well, so. Scout's honor. Is that what they do? Do they do the three fingers? I don't know.
So I'm currently writing down what I think B is.
So are you going so far? You're not like naming the product, are you? Because there's no point for that.
I know, but in order for me to guess the clue, I kind of have to have an idea of what it is. Because if I don't have a guess of what it is, then it's hard for me to assign it a clue. Does that make sense?
Oh man, C is so good.
Yes, it is, and it's something that I don't think I've had before.
I think I might have had this one or two times before.
So do you think you know what it is?
Yes and no. I think I know generally the distillery, but okay. I don't know if I can 100% nail down the product itself. But I'm pretty confident in my selection here, though.
Okay.
Oddly enough.
Well, I have mine written down.
I do too.
Awesome. So this is wow, that actually happened pretty quick.
It did really, yeah. Like once
I started eliminating things, I was like, oh, now we're
like.
So which one is your favorite?
Ooh, I think all around C is my favorite.
Me as well.
Yeah, I think C is easily the best out of the bunch. I think we can both agree that B is just a non-starter for either of us.
Mine goes. My favorite was C, then D, then E, then A, and then B is like light years behind.
I agree. I would probably. I'm torn between A and E in the third and fourth place spots. Like I would almost have to like really full on A B them, but I don't like A enough to give it that chance. But yeah, I would largely agree with that ranking.
Okay.
So
do you want to, before we open the envelopes, let's just run down what we think is which one is what. Does that make sense? It's your show.
No. I felt you taking over about halfway through recording.
I'm so sorry.
No. Don't apologize at all, because I was getting to the point where I was like really trying to in-depth, like, and analyze what I was drinking, and you were like pushing the locomotive ahead. So
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Stop apologizing. So I will show you my answers. Okay.
Oh, you did it on there.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, proofs. Do I have proofs?
Oh, sure. I'll hide the
I'm
proofs.
sorry. I didn't realize I didn't have a proof for B. But yeah, I have a proof for B. I didn't see yours because I just saw you had numbers written down. So for A, what did you think the proof was for A and the clue?
So I thought A was clue 3, or Devil Went Down to Georgia. I don't really have a good reason for it, but I do think that it's, and I kind of am waffling on the proof a little bit. I wrote down 101, but for me, I mean, it could be 100 proof, give or take a few, one way or another.
Sure. And why did you think it was Devil Went Down to Georgia? Because it was.
Oh, I did. I like that. That was kind of process of elimination more than anything.
Oh, gotcha.
Like,
so, I thought that A was like higher than that slightly. I guessed around 108 proof. And I said it was. I thought it was Chattanooga whiskey, a Chattanooga whiskey product because of the maltiness. And
honestly, that I could totally see that. You know what's funny? Like that actually makes some sense if that's what the clue is.
The head distiller used to be a brewer.
But see, okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. But what I was going to say is Chattanooga shares a border between Tennessee and Georgia.
Okay.
So I think they actually overlap a little bit as well.
Oh.
So there's a chance that, you know, I mean, it could, I don't know what the association, it is actually Tennessee whiskey, isn't it? But it doesn't matter.
Wow. So your clue and my clue could both be correct. And
it easily could be.
Because I said that it was the head distiller used to be a head brewer, because I think that I read somewhere that when they started doing the Chattanooga whiskeys, the distiller left like a prominent job as in some major brewery somewhere.
That makes total sense. I get that.
Which also makes sense for how malty their products are.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, I will say too, you actually went through and named specific products. I didn't do that, and there were a couple that I didn't do, but I can kind of approximate a few of them.
So you're gonna be shocked when you hear B then, because I went so specific that it's got to be wrong.
Whoa. Okay. Wow. Tell me, please.
So for B, I guessed it was around 115 proof. That was my guess.
Ooh, I didn't think it was that high at all.
But it was so bad that I couldn't really gauge it. So in my head, I was thinking about Georgia distilleries, and I couldn't think of anything. So then I started thinking about the song itself. And in that song, there's I can sing it in my head, but I can't sing it to you because
that's fine. That's fine.
But it's like Johnny Run Boy Run.
Oh.
So I'm thinking that if it was Johnny related, like that's the only thing I'm like, is there anything that I know that's terrible that's named Johnny?
Johnny Walker?
No, there's a product from Michigan called Johnny Smoking Gun that the shelf turds talk about.
Okay. Huh.
And it is, I've never had it because it's like $40, but it's supposed to be very bad.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think many people have. So that was like my long shot. My other guess for this, which is probably a better guess, was a Pinhook product from Castle and Key Distillery thing. Then my guess was new distillery or new whiskey, old distillery. That was my other guess for it, but I've never had Pinhook before either.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, I don't think that's a Pinhook product at all. If it is, then I need to seriously rethink
I mean,
but
that's
from all of the experience that I've had with Pinhook, it's not it. But I said B was actually 80 proof. I'm on the total opposite end of the spectrum from you. I think it drinks with no alcohol burn. I think that it just is. I mean, it's bad. I just think it's bad. I actually said this one was the first clue. The head distiller used to be a head brewer.
Gotcha. My guess for the product, see what I did? Because remember I said I saw your proofs?
Yeah.
And then I just guessed like really quick because I didn't see, I saw numbers, so I just wrote something down. I wrote down a proof for what a Pinhook product would be and not for what the Johnny Smoking Gun product would be. So your guess is a lot closer for what that Johnny Smoking Gun product would be.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And so like I flip-flopped the guess with the proof, but yeah, I didn't even care to just dissect that.
No, I don't want to ever drink that again. I don't ever want to drink that again.
Jeez, so bad.
It's awful.
C I think is. I'm sorry, you're the host. You talk.
No. Go for it, man. You launched into it. I'm gonna give it to you.
I feel so terrible.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all.
This is not my bourbon podcast. That's the problem. This is your podcast. And I'm just.
I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on C then, just for posterity's sake. I thought C was the MGP clue, and I gave it 110 proof. It didn't drink super hot after going back to it, especially after having D. But it's very high quality. I think it's maybe a Remus product. Maybe like that. That's kind of where I'm sitting with it. I don't think it's Rossville Union, but my general guess is that it is more than likely Remus and more than likely MGP in general. Because I think what we don't, it's so funny because we just kind of collectively have been like, yeah, it's MGP, it's sourced whiskey, it's, serving a purpose. But they're putting out really good stuff. I mean, it's not like it's subpar whiskey. I mean, it's consistently good stuff, unless, somebody's done something with it and just totally ruined it. But overall, I think it's just superior to the rest of the products that we tried tonight, and hands down awesome.
It's good. So, it's good.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I think I might finish the rest of my sample of it. I'm gonna wait until after we open the open the envelope.
So, my notes for C were Yum and Brown Foreman. I thought it was a Brown Foreman product right away, around 100 proof. And the only thing that fit that was left for me was Old Building New Whiskey. Maybe it's like one of like I know they have like Brown Foreman has some like new stuff out there that's not under their label. It's under a different label. I can't remember the names of those, but it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. So I'm thinking maybe that's what it is.
Oh, like Cream of Kentucky or Can of Kentucky or something. Oh, no, that's like an old brand. Never mind.
No, this is like 100 proof. This is lower proof than those. But maybe, no, what Cream of Kentucky is. I just got a Brown Foreman note on it, and I said that's kind of the only guess I had left was New Whiskey Old Distillery. So I don't know if it fits or not, but that's what I said.
I'm gonna go back for a little taster because I gotta have some confirmation here. But I can see that though.
I didn't get the red licorice I normally get on MGP products.
Okay. That's fair.
Which I could be wrong, but I'm wrong all the time.
It's a blind flight. Like literally there's nothing we can, I mean, are we experts? No, we're not. So D.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Sorry.
100% Jack Daniels. And the last clue. As soon as you were like, "Oh, you know what this is," I'm like, "Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. This brand sued Ezra Brooks in 1960 for trademark infringement. So Jack Daniels is old number 7, and Ezra Brooks is number 8, I think.
I think they copied their entire design of the label.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think that D is absolutely the last clue, and I gave it 127 proof. I think there's a good chance it might be in the 135 range, but I went a little bit more conservative with it and gave it 127.
Mine said 129 because I thought that Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, I've seen them between 128 and 133.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. The lowest I've seen is 127.1, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of us will be closer, which is funny. But yeah, that's weird though, because as soon as I tasted it, I thought finished whiskey, and then I thought Jack Daniels. Like I always think finished whiskey before I think Jack Daniels. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really good, man. I mean, it was a close second place for me, but E, I said was the old building new whiskey.
Gotcha.
And that is solely based on the fact that I was just, feeling like it was underdeveloped. And, I that kind of reads to me like somebody was trying a brand. Oh, you know what? I might have cracked it. I think there's a good chance this could be Castle and Key Rye.
You think so?
I think there's a chance, man.
Now that you say that, there's a lot of rye coming through the nose. Is it not finished though?
No. Mm-mm. Where's my bottle? Here it is.
Yeah, you might be right.
I think I lowballed the proof. Oh, I definitely did, if this is the case, because this is 103 proof.
Wow.
Right.
That's weird now that I go back to it. I think that I'm completely wrong and you're completely right. So weird. What'd you say for the proof on
I
that?
said 90. I'm definitely off on the proof though.
I said 94.
Dude, it's Castle and Key Rye. It's the exact same product.
And I said so my guesses are probably gonna be all off. I said it was the MGP one, and it was like maybe a finished MGP of some kind.
Yeah.
But now that I go back to it, the finished quality is gone and it's all young rye.
There's okay, so a car alarm's going off in our neighborhood now. If that is not Castle and Key Rye, I think that it's another young rye whiskey. Regardless.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. Let's open these damn things.
Let's find out together, man. We're doing this live. We'll do it live.
I'm so confident with the
Oh!
What'd you see? What'd you see right away?
Oh my gosh, the first one that I saw was E.
Oh, Castle and Key Restoration Rye.
Castle and Key Restoration Rye.
So you got a point for the clue, right?
I'm gonna have to find some way to mark this down, but I got a point for the clue, but not the proof.
Well, you got a point for the clue, and I got a point for the proof.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Holy moly, dude. That was such a last minute call for me too, where I was like, oh, this is, I just slowly started putting the pieces together, and then like that final breath of like, oh, I know what this is now. That's crazy. Okay. So
what's weird is maybe since I thought D was like a finished, like Jack Daniel's finished thing, which I haven't even seen if I was right yet. Maybe that just followed me over to E.
I think so too. Because I was kind of in the same boat as you were. Yeah. So, all right.
Do you want to go backwards to D?
That's what's happening right now.
D is Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. I called it as soon as I tasted it.
Yeah. I got the clue right. I'm guessing you got the clue right. I did not get the proof right though, because it's 132.8.
So I got the proof right. You got the.
So what are we basing proof off here though? Like, is it within?
Who's ever closest to the proof?
Oh, okay. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Who's ever closest gets a point.
So you're leading
right?
3-2 right now, right?
Yeah, but I have a feeling this is going to go backwards.
I'm really not sure where this is going to go after this.
All right, what's the heck is C?
C is an Old Scout total wine pick.
Shoot.
Oh, wow.
You got MGP.
I doubled up on the proof then, right?
Yeah, and you got the proof. What'd you guess for proof?
110?
Yes, you got 4 points to my 3.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting it to be Old Scout. Truly, but man, that's crazy. All right.
Oh no. B I was wrong. I guessed the wrong Chattanooga. Are you serious?
I got B right on the clue. The head distiller used to be a head brewer.
I guessed this. Okay, to be completely honest, I guessed Chattanooga Rye whiskey for A and the clue correctly. I just guessed the drink wrong.
Wait, what do you mean? Like you wrote the wrong thing down?
No, I just.
Oh, you flip flopped. Okay.
I thought that A was Chattanooga and B is Chattanooga.
Right. So
why is that a real thing?
So what did you guess the proof was on B? Because I had 80.
I had 115, so I'm 16 off, and
I'm 19 off, so you win that one.
Did you get the guess right though?
I did.
So you're up 5-4.
I thought do you have 4 or 5?
Well, because
you only got 1 point for that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next one is, did you get you got the devil one down to Georgia correctly?
I did. ASW Fiddler Georgia Heartwood Hops Grain and Vine Store Pick.
What is that?
I have no idea. I've never heard of ASW.
That's got to be a Georgia distillery.
It must be.
Yeah. I mean,
I guessed 101 proof on this, and it's one.
I guessed 108.
What'd you guess?
108.
So you win that one.
But you got the clue right.
I did get the clue right. But I mean, like, again, that was like process of elimination for me. But
so you won 6-5.
6-5, man. That was, you would have won if you hadn't flip-flopped on.
Oh no, I didn't. No, Perry, I didn't flip-flop. I honestly thought A was Chattanooga Rye, like Chattanooga whiskey.
Oh, okay. So
and I guessed that it's the head distiller, what used to be a brewer.
Right.
Based on it being Chattanooga Rye or Chattanooga whiskey.
Right.
But it turns out that A wasn't Chattanooga, but B was.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Man, that last minute clutch call where I was like, this is definitely Castle and Key Rye. I'm really kind of surprised by that, but I mean, once I really truly started thinking about it and put it to the test, regardless, man, that is great. But I mean, you called Jack Daniels right off the bat.
Yeah, that one's easy for me for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why.
What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. It's just weird because to me when I tasted A, I thought Chattanooga whiskey.
Yeah.
It's weird that was in the flight.
Yeah, and you were just slightly off with it.
I mean, that's weird to me that was in the flight, but does B have that malty note? No, I don't even want to go back.
I don't want to either. Oh, no, man. A was the one that had the most malt to it.
For sure, and that's why I thought it was Chattanooga. I actually did a full flight of their experimental series before. Like 6 different experimental series whiskeys from Chattanooga. That all tasted like A.
Do you think that there might have been miscommunication on the right of the cards?
No, Will's a professional.
Okay, all right.
Will's a pro. No, there's no way.
He is the MVP.
But Unless okay, the only way is if Will says B, if he says that ASW Fiddler Georgia Heartwood Hops Grain and Vine Store Pick is absolutely yucky, then we'll know that there's
I mean, we will have to get confirmation from it. And actually, let's just go ahead and do this because we're live, and the people deserve an answer.
Congratulations, Perry! You're the new.
I beat the world's top whiskey taster by default, maybe, kind of. Who's to say? I don't know, but
destroyed me. Destruction.
Oh man, that was crazy, man. That was one of the weirdest flights I've ever had. Truly, like nothing was. I think when I build flights for people, I'm going, what's similar enough that people will kind of have a tough time, numerating, I guess, to where they can ascertain what they like better. But this is a freaking game, dude. Like, this is so much different from anything I've ever done. And I love it. I absolutely love this. This is so much fun and so cool. And
the funny thing is, I lose way more of these than I win. I lose all the time. So often. But it's really hard for me because I get in my own head. Like the Clue Devil Went Down to Georgia. I couldn't think of any Georgia distilleries. So in my brain, I started thinking the lyrics to the song.
Right, yeah.
And then the name Johnny's in the song. So there's no Johnny Walker. And then I'm like, what's another Johnny that I know? Johnny Smoking Gun, which is, he probably has never heard of that whiskey. But then all of a sudden I assigned that really random niche whiskey to a glass in a random flight, which the chances of that happening are so
But that
slim.
still shows like the level of, research that you've done. And
that I know that Johnny Smoking Gun's supposed to be real bad.
Well, yeah. All right, let me send him a picture as well
of our faces when we drank.
No. I was gonna send him just. I don't want to have him see that. Okay, so he said A is ASW and B is the Chattanooga.
He's a pro.
So we have actually confirmed that.
The Perry's the champion. I will write you a check for $20,000.
I would absolutely poop my pants if I got a check in the mail for $20,000.
I would love it if you didn't cash that.
If I didn't?
Because, yeah, it would bounce so hard. So go ahead and just sit on it for a bit.
Can you do partial cashes? Like, can I?
No, I don't think so. I think that, and I'm not gentleman enough to send you multiple checks. So sorry, just don't cash it. What a fun! This was fun. This was super
a lot of fun.
And
yeah,
what's gonna be interesting is editing on a podcast level for you, because this is not. I don't know if it's ever been done before.
I've edited a blind flight before, at least a couple of times.
Oh, between people like remote.
Oh no! I've not done that. So we're gonna see. Also, Will just messaged me and said, "I can't believe that blinded that bad because most people enjoy them. Sorry for that."
Enjoy what? Nobody enjoys B. If Will says people enjoy
they're
B,
lying. They're just straight up liars.
Will, okay, I'm so happy that I know the folks over at ASW Fiddler Georgia Heartwood Hops and Grain, but absolutely not. Please,
ASW is a weeder.
Oh no, that was A. No, B was not B. Okay, A was acceptable.
Yeah.
B. Oh my goodness, they'll never talk to me.
He said ASW is a weeder aged with staves from Georgia.
You did actually say it could have been a wheat.
I did. Yeah, I did say that.
I did say that. Okay. 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 I did say
So I guess that must have been a high malt content, where because I really wasn't getting much corn on it at all, but we both agreed that there was malt on it.
Yeah, on A for sure. I think that maybe we both have bad glasses for B. That's possible. These weren't clean glasses. You're gonna pour in a different glass.
No, I'm just smelling it from the sample bottle because I'm still smelling exactly what we were getting earlier.
I'm gonna be completely honest here. I'm gonna sip B, expecting it to be wonderful.
No.
Nope.
No, it's bad.
Okay. My favorite whiskeys ever are Curvy Roads. They're roller coasters. They take lefts and rights and unexpected turns, and they do fun things on the tongue, and they do weird things that make you smile. This is a curvy road that's black ice with oncoming semi-traffic.
And no road guards to keep you from going off the mountain.
And
I'm so sorry, Chattanooga. Like, I like what you do. I have really enjoyed your bourbons, but this is so weird and so far off base from what I've had from you guys. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough to get through.
But it's just our preference. Like, I don't prefer that. I don't think that that's not something I would drink, but other people would. That's awful woodsy.
I do like the apple orchard metaphor, because I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, now I just picture being lost in a bunch of pine trees after like they finally settled down.
It's rough, man.
I've been there.
It's rough. Anyway, it's a good thing we didn't get into the news, because we would be going for much longer. But anyway,
yeah, for sure. We've been on for 2.5 hours.
I know,
right? That's a long time.
Well, I guess that kind of means we should probably start to wrap things up. And we normally wrap things up with tips and bits, which is where we recommend things. It is not always bourbon related. Sometimes it is. And this week I got a little special thing that we're adding on to tips and bits. So I'm going to get to it in a minute. But Matt Porter, you go first, buddy.
Tips and bits. First, okay, I'll be super quick. Let's do bourbon related first. Sure. YouTube, Shelf Turds. The Bourbon Wrench,
fantastic.
Trev Wilson.
Yeah.
The Bourbon Wrench, Trev Wilson. Whiskey Central, Shayla. She's the best. Go check them out. My goodness. You know what? Now I'm going down. I shouldn't have done that, because now I'm forgetting everybody. Hot Buttery Rolls. He's got a great whiskey show on YouTube. My goodness gracious. There's so many great YouTube whiskey channels. If you don't watch YouTube whiskey channels, you probably should. Non-bourbon related, also YouTube. If you enjoy watching, if you can get sucked down a rabbit hole, there's this thing called Boats versus Haulover. And
I don't know what that is, but I love it already.
Okay, listen. It's in Miami, Florida, and there's an inlet that goes like into a harbor, like off the coast of Miami. And it's like rough water. So like waves come in as the tide goes out, and it creates like gigantic waves. So people record all these boats leaving and entering the inlet, and it's like little boats and big boats, but it's realistically a bunch of boats getting destroyed by waves and commentary. So this guy's like, he's like, this person's going a little too slow. And then like they dip the nose of these yachts like underwater and just get like their windshields blown out. And like
that's so
girls in thong bikinis are like sunbathing on the bow of a boat. And they're like, this is never a good idea. And then they just go flying overboard. There's so many of them. And I could watch them all day long. Like, what are
I'm so on board with that.
Boats versus Haulover. It's a
awesome.
I can't take my eyes away.
No, I'm definitely going to spend the rest of the night watching that. So I have a couple of things I want to recommend. We just got through the entire first season of Ted Lasso, which is a Jason Sudeikis vehicle on Apple TV. Let me tell you, it jumped to my top 5 favorite shows ever. Before we got to the finale.
It's called
It's what? Ted Lasso. So Jason Sudeikis plays this football coach in America who gets chosen to go over to England and then coach a soccer team. And it's brilliant. It is so well written. There's so much heart to it, but it's also just incredibly funny. And I kid you not when I say it's one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, I am already wanting to go back and watch it again from the beginning. And there's only one season so far. It's been renewed for 2 more. But it's awesome. It is so, so good.
I will have to check that out. Does your wife enjoy it as well or no?
Yeah, no, we've been watching it together.
Oh, great. So we're always looking for a show to watch together, right? It's like, that's the thing. If you can find
there are some naughty words, so your kiddos probably shouldn't be around while you're watching it.
Very. Oh, my children are teaching me words.
Oh, that's special.
And I'm like, where did you learn that? And they're like, Trinity and Madison. And I'm like, who are they? And they're like, they're on YouTube. And I'm like, YouTube's the devil.
Daddy makes lots of money through YouTube, so it's not the devil, but also
make a little, but it's more than nothing. Jesus.
So this week, I wanted to introduce for the first time ever listener tips and bits.
Oh,
I've never done this before, and I threw this out to a small group in the community. Probably about a month and a half ago, and I've just not even that long, like a month ago, and I totally just forgot about it, and I feel really, really bad. But we are going to each week incorporate listener tips and bits, so you can send them either to our social media handles at MyBourbonPod. You can email them to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com, and you can even send them to our Barrel Rings line, which is 859-428-8273. Right? 859-428-8273. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Had to go through it again because I haven't said it in a little while. But this week's first ever listener tips and bits comes from Patrick Starkey, who again is all the way over in New Zealand at the moment, quarantining for work, and he's a big supporter of the show. He supports you on Patreon as well.
Sure does.
Matt. So he says he has a few. He said, for TV shows, Doom Patrol, I was pleasantly surprised that A, Brendan Fraser was in it, and B, it's actually good. So it's a take on the DC Comics line Doom Patrol, and it was originally on DC Universe or Plus or whatever it was, before it got folded into HBO Max, and it's on there now. I have not watched it yet, but I've really, really been meaning to. Let's see, for YouTube, he said, I am Jake. He started his blog about 4 years ago as a way to combat depression, wound up living in a boat, then a Jeep, traveling the country, hundreds of episodes to catch up on. Wow. Very cool. He said, and finally, do something nice for someone. We could all use that. I totally agree. Because I saw sometime last week, it might have been the week before, that there was a line of over 900 people who paid it forward at like a Starbucks or something. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool. It like warms my heart. Yeah. And like, I want to do something like that, but I'm so afraid that once I do it, like the next person behind me is going to be like, okay, and just move on.
Well, you know what? And if they are, then guess what? You still did a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who cares? Just, freaking
do it.
But,
and it's an anxiety thing when you get to the window.
Oh, it is absolutely an anxiety
when you're like,
thing.
oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this, and they're like 4:35, sir, and you're like, perfect change.
Okay.
Goodbye. And you're like, I should have done.
Yeah. So there's enough frustration going on in the world and negative energy that, yeah, go do something good for people. And you can also send us your good listener tips and bits, like I said earlier, to @mybourbonpod or to thismybourbonshop@gmail.com. And we'll read them out here on the show. So that about does it for this week's episode. This has been it's been a good time, buddy. I've been really happy to get to sit down and drink some good and not so good stuff with you, and just chat and catch up with you.
This was a good time. Thank you so much, Perry.
Absolutely. Where can people find you on social media, and what's that YouTube channel they can go find you on as well?
If you're into silly whiskey videos on YouTube, ADHD Whiskey. Also ADHD Whiskey on Instagram, and that's about it. I don't dabble too much further than that. But YouTube is where I spend most of my time. And it's a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody who watches, and if you want to come over and check it out, I would give you a long distance high five, and some knucks, and if you're up for it, we can do a mutual slap on the ass.
Oh, okay. Wow. You didn't offer that to me the last time you were here, but that's fine. That's okay.
I knew you'd say no.
Well, you can find me personally at PRitter1492 on all social media channels. You can also find the show itself at MyBourbonPod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review on the iTunes podcast app or wherever it is that you are collecting podcasts. It's not the way I wanted to phrase that initially, but that's the way it came out of my mouth. And we'll read it out here on the show, unless you don't want us to. But we appreciate everybody who does review the show. It's a really, really good way for us to help grow our audience and for other people to find it. If you go into the Apple podcast app and you search Bourbon Podcast or even just Bourbon, we'd show up within like the first 6 or 5 or whatever it is. So you guys have done that. Everybody who's actually given us a review, we really appreciate it. So if you're listening somewhere you can leave reviews, please, please, please do that. We really appreciate all of it. You can find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com, except for our Glencairns, which can be found, rather, at whiskeyambitions.com. They'll say, this is my bourbon drinking glass. Really cool. I had a really fun time designing that little thing. And we still got some in stock. I think we're under halfway through our stock, so go and check all of that out. I go live every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/thisismybourbonpodcast. Go over there and check that out. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Barrel rings, I guess, 859-428-8273. I still feel like that's the wrong number. I might have to go in and edit it. I don't know. 8253? I don't know. I can't remember. Whatever. I'll fix it in post, maybe. Who's to say? But thank you. Maybe I won't fix it and I'll just leave it here. But you can also become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/bourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. And as for that's not right. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get the bonus content, which includes our pregame chats, which come out the Tuesday before the episodes drop. There's the Wednesday when the episodes drop for everybody. And then on Thursdays, you get the last call, which is, again, exclusive to Patreon. So you're basically getting 2 bonus episodes every single week, along with the main episode. And once again, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. We appreciate everybody over there who is a Patreon of the show. That does it for this week. Next week, I am bringing back Papa Ritter for another flight. And you guys are going to be really excited about it. I cannot wait for you guys to check out this flight. Matt Porter, thank you so much again for being on the show this week, for filling in these giant floppy swan feet shoes. That's not a phrase anybody says, but
thank you so much, Perry, for defeating me, leveling me, bringing me back to the ground, taking away everything that's ever made me happy.
I have not thought twice about the fact that I won that competition since we tallied up the scores. Not even crossed my mind. So
we checks in the mail.
I can't wait to not cash it. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. We will be back next week for another episode. But until then, I'm Perry, and this is my Bourbon Podcast.